When we're researching the lost city of Krishna from the Mahabharata, we come across two terms which can be a little bit confusing. We find the word Dvarka or the term Dvaraka. And as we dig deeper and deeper, we find out that these two words are interchangeable for the same lost city of Krishna. But where is this lost city of Krishna located? That's another debate that when we dig into the work of Dr. S.R. Rao, who made it his life's passion to uncover this lost city of Krishna from the Mahabharata, he originally landed in the city of Bet Dvarka, which is just overlooking the Bay of Kutch. Now, what he noticed is that the foundations of the city go down 6 layers deep, suggesting that it's thousands of years old. And he thought, maybe this is it. But the legends tell us that Dwaraka was sunken under the ocean, so he said maybe this isn't it. So we started looking into the oceans around Bet Dwarka, and sure enough, he found sunken ruins, and he went, aha, this must be the lost city of Krishna here. Well, that wasn't good enough. He kept digging. In the Bay of Cambay, also known as the Bay of Kambat, that there was a lost city the size of Manhattan, some 36 meters under the ocean. When Dr. S.R. Rao looked at the depth of this lost city in the Bay of Kambat, he suggested that that may indicate that the city was over 7,500 years old. But as we look deeper into the geological record, possibly this city was sunk back in the Younger Dryas era, some 12,500 years old. So it's going to be debated how old this city is.
They found some amazing artifacts at Dwarka. Right off the coast, they found different stone tools, they found different wooden tools, they found pottery, and all different types of artifacts. They brought these artifacts up, and it set the archaeological community on fire. And what really sets me off is the fact that if you look at these tools that they found, these tools could not have built this city. So now we have to ask the question, how old really is Dwarka? How many more thousands of years older than the people who stumbled across it and we discovered their tools and remnants of them, but they may have just discovered this place that was already built in ancient times, even deep antiquity.
What's special about Dwarka is not only that it was home to Krishna, but that it has this fantastic description with hundreds of palaces shining like gems. It's described as sort of a paradise. So there must be something enormously significant about the location of Dwarka. It suggests that we really don't know how old, in fact, Dwarka actually is.
This description leads alternative researchers to wonder, is there something significant about the location of this ancient lost city of gold and jewels?
When we look at Earth energies and how the Earth was tapped into as a power source, some Earth energies converge at ancient sites, and these are called alpha lines. So they have a birthing point. So if we imagine, for example, that beneath these places, energy is coming up like a fountain, really strong, like a spring, bursting through the ground, that alpha line will come up, and then it will start to flow, and they have an alpha birthing point and a termination point called an omega point. So if we imagine that the ancients would look for these birthing points of these energy currents, and the termination points, they are places that have exceptional power.
The legends of Dwarka claim that this was like one of the most beautiful cities in the world, made of different emeralds, gold, and crystals. It was just amazing. And also, the fact that it's been so deeply submerged in the water suggests that some kind of cataclysm or battle really did take place. And the stories of Krishna and King Salva may have some reality to them.
In the archaeological excavations that they've done in that area, one of the things they found was a coin that dated back to 9,000 BC. And it is believed that it's around this period of time that the epic of the Mahabharata took place in that area.
Could this sunken pre-Diluvian city, also referred to by scholars as Dwarka in the Gulf of Kambat, be the legendary Dvaraka, lost city of Krishna? According to ancient Vedic texts, this city was surrounded by water, and bridges connected this city to the mainland. Could this submerged discovery be a clue to a deeper understanding of the mythological timeline when the gods left the earth and there was a great flood and humanity started over?
Krishna, in his appearance on Earth, was a member of the Yadu dynasty, and their capital was originally in a place called Mathura. And the city of Mathura was once attacked by forces led by demoniac kings. And Krishna saw that to give them a safer place to stay, he manifested the city of Dwarka. And the city of Dwarka was on an island connected to the mainland by a causeway, and it was fortified. So he moved his family members and other relatives there. When Krishna felt that his mission as an avatar who had descended onto Earth had been completed, he went back, and he decided that he would take the members of his dynasty back with him and cause his city to become unmanifest and disappear from the vision of people on Earth. And therefore, he caused it to descend into the depths of the ocean, the ruins of it.
According to ancient Vedic literature, Dwarka was a beautiful city. It was on the coast, and it was the home base of the god we know as Krishna. And he would seem to have been not just a mythical character, but an actual king that ruled here in Dwarka in ancient times. When exactly, we don't know. But this same literature talks about a huge river known as the Sarasvati. And this, we know, dried up as much as 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. So the city of Dwarka must have existed before then. And it had beautiful gardens, it had beautiful courtyards, thousands of people lived there, and it was a very tranquil place. But the problem is that it would seem to have been at the centre of the most hideous wars that were going on between different factions at this time. Wars that would seem to have involved what we would call today weapons of mass destruction.
When Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the modern age of nuclear weapons, was asked how he felt about the detonation of the first nuclear bomb, he corrected the questioner. "Not the first atomic bomb," he responded. "The first atomic bomb in modern times." Could evidence here at Dwarka suggest an advanced civilization that had their hands on nuclear weapons?
When you look at the wars that are in the Mahabharata, and they talk about using these weapons with this, the capability of destroying even worlds in some cases. Some of these weapons, once they were released, it said that the enemy would be defeated. There's no question, no doubt the enemy was going to be defeated. And I really think that when you analyze Dwarka, you'll find that there will be vitrified stone, vitrified rock. Even above ground where their city remains, you can find some glass in the sand. Now, the only way to turn sand into glass is through high heat temperatures, 3,000 plus degrees.
The ancient Vedic literature tells us that during the wars that took place between Krishna at Dwarka and a rival king by the name of Salwa, there were weapons that were used that devastated not just the cities, but entire armies. And that as much as 36 years after a war that supposedly only lasted about 18 days, that there was still what we would describe as some kind of nuclear winter taking place. not just humans were being killed en masse, but animals were just falling over dead. People seemed to be covered in something that they were trying to wash off them by leaping into streams. There talked about mutations, blinding lights that were so strong that it was like 1,000 suns. And what it strongly tells us is that the ancient Vedic cultures would appear to have had these nuclear devices that were set off and other forms of missiles that could cause incredible destruction.
We know that historically the writer is being very accurate. This is important because the rest of the story sounds like a fantasy tale. We're told that Krishna, for example, traveled in the skies in his celestial chariot, his Vimana craft, and that in fact he battled with a nearby king called Salva that also possessed one of these Vimana craft, and they engaged in a war. In fact, they're shooting projectiles at one another, projectiles and missiles that appear to light up the sky during the day. And ultimately, King Salva is raining these projectiles on Dwarka, and Krishna retaliates by sending some ground-to-air missile that ultimately destroys Salva's Vimana. So with that in mind, and given the factual basis for elements in the Mahabharata, we wonder, could it be possible that Dwarka was destroyed by one of these weapons? We're told that Dwarka was destroyed by water, that it's a sunken city, it's a lost city. But what caused that sinking? Perhaps there's room or latitude within the story to offer up the possibility that it was destroyed by one of these advanced weapons, perhaps even a nuclear weapon, as described in the Mahabharata.